Welcome one, welcome all. I am Sprometheus, the internet's unfriendliest barista. And today we're digging into a video topic that in some ways is a bit of a continuation of a conversation I had in a video towards the end of last year, talking about my feelings about the coffee content realm, essentially the direction coffee content is going. And so this video is in that same ballpark. It's not very specifically coffee focused, so if that upsets you, you can click away now. But it does have to do with coffee content. And honestly, I think this is also more or less a valid conversation to have when it comes to content, regardless of the topic. It's about artificial intelligence, which has essentially become a very common, popular topic of conversation in recent years, and it seems to slowly be ramping up. On the good side, AI can be extremely helpful in predictions. Essentially, it can help you manage your green coffee inventory, it can help with quality assurance, or even managing a roaster's profile to make sure they don't go too far off track. And then on the brewing side, you of course have new add-ons like Grind by Sync from Malkonig and La Marzocco. You have drip through predictions and other brewing essentially helpers that produce less waste while creating a more consistent product. On the bad side, you have social, ethical, and environmental issues like loss of employment opportunities, a reduction in third spaces, places essentially where are between our home and work, where we go to socialize, and finally, environmental factors like the high demands for energy for AIs to operate. And of course, this is by no means an exhaustive list, but when you look at the big picture, AI was sold to us as something that will help us be more productive, give us more free time. And I think it could do that if we lived in a perfect society. But when you really drill down, it's clear those who actually gain the most from the rise of AI in most, if not all industries, are those who hold positions of power. It could be as simple as just a cafe owner who employs some sort of dystopian AI system that tracks the efficiency of their baristas, making people essentially fear for their jobs, or a multi-billion-dollar behemoth like YouTube using AI to essentially get their creators to rely more and more on it to drive clicks and, of course, profits. I mean, when you see articles like this popping up on Forbes, you sort of know who they're marketed to, and it's not your everyday barista. But before we get too deep into it, don't forget to like and subscribe if you aren't already. And if you want to go the extra mile in your support, you can become a channel member for early access, or you can support today's sponsor, Third Wave Water. Your coffee and your water are more related than you may realize. And that's why after months of testing and trials, I've landed on Third Wave Water products for all of my brewing methods. With their mineral blends that are designed for every roast level and even specific brew types, you're able to not only enhance the quality in the cup, but also, almost as importantly, avoid corrosion or scale buildup in your equipment. In short, they've done the hard part for you. All you've got to do is mix in water and brew. So if you're looking to take the next big step in pursuit of the perfect cup, head over to thirdwavewater.com/Prometheus or use code Sprometheus at checkout to snag 10% off your first purchase. Thanks to Third Wave Water for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into it. In the grand scheme, I'm not necessarily against the use of AI to help humans produce a product or a service. I do think there are many, many positive use cases out there, even within the topic of this video, content creation. And I definitely see a lot of conversation in the world of AI surrounding copyright, essentially where AI is learning how to create content from other people's content, which can, in some cases, seem like it could be a copyright infringement. And in one of the biggest cases in AI thus far, they did rule that AI learning from copyrighted content didn't constitute fair use, but it didn't really cause any sort of slowdown. And AI content has continued to flood the timelines of nearly every platform that I frequent. And purely from my perspective as a content creator, beyond the loss of potential jobs of professionals in their fields, there is something that I'm seeing happening on the back end here on YouTube that is a bit concerning, not only for coffee content, but content in general. because as of right now, most savvy internet users can tell the difference between something written, animated, or produced with AI against something made by a human. But my concern right now is something I haven't heard much about, and that is how AI is beginning to affect even the content made by people, and how long it will take for a point to come where it's unrecognizable. And personally, I think that change is happening, and it's being essentially promoted here on YouTube under the guise of being something helpful for creators, something to take weight off their shoulders and help them create more of a work-life balance. But in the process, I think it's sort of slowly removing the originality, the humanity, and the personality from the content overall. Not too long ago, YouTube would show you the keywords that were popular within your audience's searches. So for me, as someone who creates coffee content, it would be gear and recipes and the like. And honestly, I did find that helpful. If I was struggling to come up with an idea or looking for some new gear to get a hold of and make a video on, that was a great way to sort of narrow some things down if I didn't already have some ideas in the chamber. But now the content ideas are essentially spoon-fed to you. So when you open the YouTube Studio application and you look at the new inspiration tab, what you'll see is AI everything, from thumbnails, which granted look like shit, to titles, a short video description, and even a full section-by-section breakdown on the proposed videos. And obviously, these ideas and these video topics may look familiar because they are pulled from real-life data here on YouTube and probably elsewhere. And of course, as you'd expect, in terms of the current state of artificial intelligence, there are some errors and some things that don't make sense. At least from a coffee person perspective, I've seen it recommend me doing a side-by-side against an AeroPress and a Lelit Bianca, which are two of some of the most higher performing videos on my channel. So I see why it's doing that, but it still doesn't really know what it's doing. But as it's often said, today is as bad as AI will ever be. And errors aside, the fact remains that using this tool will be very attractive to creators both new and old because it produces videos with very high algorithmic potential. But that also means YouTube is going to make more money, and maybe, the creator will make a bit more money in the short term. But in the long term, it will essentially dull the creative and human edge of those behind the video production. And content creation will move from being a very individual, creative, and organic process, something that requires effort and experience and, thought, into something where you rely on AI and its algorithmic insights to prompt your every move, even more so than the current state of trends and advertisements. But of course, beyond the media of social media, it's also sort of going after the social aspect, which I think is one of the biggest draws of social media, is being able to interact with a creator and have maybe a human-to-human conversation, or ask them a question, or get some kind of input from them that you might otherwise not be able to get if you were to watch something maybe on TV. I think it's one of the major draws of social media overall. But now YouTube is even using AI in the comment section, where it reads a person's comment and then gives you recommended responses. And it's just yet another example of AI's implementation in content creation designed to produce clicks and interactions that lead to profits, but reduce any sort of connection, any sort of social in the social media. So I guess more or less, they're trying to get us to trick you into believing you're talking to us, a creator, instead of just clicking a response button and trying to bring you back into YouTube to consume more ads, more content, and make more money. Essentially, it's just another step towards the dead internet theory. Bots end up talking to bots, and then you just have Facebook. So the TLDW is AI should be a tool, not a crutch. It should make our lives, our jobs, our content creation easier, but it shouldn't remove any semblance of effort or experience or production and just rely solely on our ability to write an effective prompt. Now, more than ever, regardless of your contribution to society, it's important to maintain our humanity. use our brains that all function a little bit differently to create stuff that's personal, real, and organic, because that's sort of dying out in our modern age. And in the end, this is an issue that I've been seeing more and more, even in my little corner of the internet within coffee content, which in my opinion is still pretty niche. So you can only imagine just how prevalent it actually is. But on that note, I think it's time I start wrapping this one up. And as always, pass the conversation on to you. So what are your thoughts on AI content creation? Do you think it's a net positive, or do you think it's doing more harm than good? Drop your answers to those questions and any others you may have in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that little bell button for notifications when new videos drop. Check out my Instagram @Sprometheus for more coffee content. Help support the channel by considering becoming a member for unique exclusive perks. And as always, stay caffeinated. Pony Boy.